All right, welcome back to Fleckus Talks, the podcast, episode 12. Today on the show, we have a new video of teachers indoctrinating middle school students, absolute freak of the week material. Time announced their person of the year, and it's actually a person, believe it or not. We have an update in the trans swimmer that we covered last week. They spoke out and had a lot to say. And I have a really good question for the January 6th committee. This and a whole lot more. It's Fleckus Talks, the podcast, episode 12, ranked the best new podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words, but at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do.
Very cool. Very cool. Fleckus Talks, the podcast, featuring Richard Bradford. It's a pretty good intro.
Yeah, if you can cut that pause, you're Gucci.
I'm going to cut the pause.
Nice.
Yes, Time announced their person of the year just a few days ago.
Yep.
It's Elon Musk, who is my new favorite person on Twitter now that Trump's gone.
Yeah, he kind of filled that, the bully pulpit Twitter guy.
Yeah.
He filled that vacuum.
And he made Twitter somewhat enjoyable. I don't really tweet that much. I don't care for Twitter. Ever since Trump left, it's just not the same.
Yeah, it's like a hollowed out, like leftist echo chamber now. They got a lot of conservatives off, and it's trash.
Exactly. So Time's person of the year is Elon Musk. I'm surprised. I thought that they would do what most people do, which was like the opposite of what would make sense.
Yeah.
So like Time person of the year would be like they, them, you know?
Time person of the year, the Capitol Police.
Exactly.
You know, or
January 6th. Yeah.
The person of the year is a date.
Or
January
Greta
6th.
Thunberg, something like that.
That was last year.
It was actually a reasonable pick.
Yeah.
Elon Musk. I enjoy looking at it.
Global warming, Time person of the year.
Yeah.
Like whatever we're pushing, Pfizer, Time person of the year.
Yeah, the vaccine, Dr. Fauci. They probably already gave to Dr. Fauci.
Yeah, they probably.
But that's what I was expecting, some sort of Muppetry fake thing. Makes no sense, but I guess they picked a real one.
Yeah. And then, of course, Elon picks a fight on Twitter with Elizabeth Warren. Actually, Elizabeth Warren picks a fight with him. Mm-hmm. So you saw that, obviously, right?
Of course.
Elizabeth Warren tweeted, "Let's change the rigged tax code so the person of the year will actually pay taxes and stop freeloading off everyone else." Like Elon Musk, entrepreneur, like
Freeloading.
creator, maker, is freeloading off everybody else. And then Elon basically like hassled her 5 tweets in a row. And if you opened your eyes for 2 seconds, you would realize I will pay more taxes than any American in history this year. So I don't think he's making that up. I think he probably did a little research, and he's paying the most taxes in history.
Yeah.
So he said, don't spend it all at once. And then he said, you remind me of when I was a kid, my friend's angry mom would just randomly yell at everyone for no reason. Please don't call the manager on me, Senator Karen. And it's like...
Bump said Spike. Perfect.
Well, he hammered her. But these people like the Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren who just like get on their soapbox and yell, it's like, you're in the legislative branch. Like, who are you yelling at? Please.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Your colleagues, I guess.
Yeah, they just need to look like they're doing something, but they're actually the ones who take advantage of the systems that are in place now.
Yeah.
And all they do is, like, same with Bernie Sanders, you look like you're a fighter, you look like you're part of the solution, but you're AOC at the Met Gala.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you wore the dress, but we know what you do and what you care about. And if you had the choice, you're not going to pick the poor people you claim to stand for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, overall, non-Muppet Time Person of the Year, decent.
Decent. I don't know who picked that. I don't know how that got by, but good stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think this might be their every third year credibility thing where they go, let's go back. We did Greta Thunberg last year. We did Fauci in 2020. Like, let's go back. So.
Yeah. So this is their normal one to retain some of the somewhat reasonable viewers.
Exactly.
It's an off year too. It's not an election year, so they can just kind of get away with putting a normal person out there.
For sure.
Moving on. Speaking of January 6th, January 6th, if you guys aren't familiar, the biggest psyop of all time. It's the thing that everyone's pretending is like a really huge deal where, you know, there's a coup attempt.
There's an insurrection, obviously.
I keep hearing. And then they had some new text messages that were released this week, which I don't know how they got out there, these messages. I guess they were leaked conveniently.
There's a leaker.
But it shows a lot of the Fox News hosts, Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, Kilmeade, a bunch of people texting Don Jr. and people in Trump's circle saying on January 6th, and this is before information came out, this is like as it's happening in live time on January 6th, and they're saying Trump needs to get on TV, Trump needs to disavow this, Trump needs to tell everyone to go home.
Yep.
And everyone thinks it's like a big aha moment, gotcha. But doesn't it kind of prove the the opposite point where it's like
everyone reasonable was being like, guys, stop it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The Trump MAGA side, Fox News was saying, oh, this isn't a good idea. This is a bad look.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I guess they think they have something here. They're making all these videos about it, trying to get like Laura Ingraham in trouble. But it actually goes against their point. And I actually have a question. This is for January 6th committee. This is for anyone who thinks they have us pegged down and January 6th was some like horrible coup insurrection.
Anything other than like an out-of-hand protest, like...
Yeah, it was an out-of-hand protest, and for some reason there weren't any police there.
Yeah.
Well, like 100,000 people surrounded the Capitol. Like, I don't know whose idea that was. Mm-hmm. I know it wasn't Trump's. He requested the police.
Yep.
So there wasn't enough police presence to handle the crowd. Everyone knows that. The people who bust in immediately throw the flag in the ground. That looks weird. But here's the thing that I have kind of realized lately. Everyone who's really against January 6th needs to commit to the idea that it was some huge insurrection, planned coup, and it was the MAGA people trying to overthrow the government.
Yeah. Pushed back by brave 6 cops.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like,
exactly. So you're probably thinking, well, the same thing I'm thinking. Wasn't January 6th just like a protest where people got into the building and it was like old people walking around, people giving speeches, people standing in between the ropes and taking pictures like, oh my God, I'm inside the building.
The January 6th grandma, the lady just like...
So this is the insurrectionists. But the question for everyone else who has to pretend and live in the fake world and say, oh, January 6th was this huge divisive thing, this insurrection, this coup, the attempted overthrow of the government, all these people, if they were really going in there to do a coup, and they were like, you know what? This is the final straw. My life as I know it is over if I don't overthrow the government right now.
Yeah, today's the day.
Today's the day. This is a coup, boys. We're going and doing it. Why didn't any of those people bring guns? That's my question.
Seems like it was...
all these patriotic people probably have guns, legal gun owners. Wouldn't, if you were doing a coup and trying to overthrow the government and this was your last stand and you're just like, I'm going all in, whatever happens, happens, wouldn't you bring guns to that?
That seems like something you might do.
Yeah.
If you were planning that
if someone was planning a coup.
Yeah.
So clearly that, in my mind.
Not just the Fed guy yelling, we're going in the Capitol tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, that's okay.
Not just Ray Epps.
You're telling everyone to walk in. Just walk in.
Yeah, exactly. Ray Epps immediately gets called to Fed and there's a Fed chant. But you think if you really were going to try and do a coup and overthrow the government, you'd bring some guns. You have guns, but no one brought a gun. The only person who got shot and killed was Ashley Babbitt by a Capitol Police officer.
Yep.
Who said that he thinks he saved a lot of lives.
Who went on a press tour afterwards.
Yeah, saved a lot of lives. Like nothing was happening.
Yeah.
It was an out-of-hand protest. No one brought weapons. It wasn't an insurrection and a coup. And if it was, it would have been one.
I saw something like the White House is going to commemorate January 6th or something. They're going to make it a Pearl Harbor or a Remember 9/11.
Absolute psychos.
So they got to do the ceremony with it.
Yeah, there's got to be a ceremony. There's got to be a ritual. This is what CNN, Don Lemon and Brian Stelter are saying about it.
All of this. Why does Jen Psaki even continue to call on Fox in the briefing room? And I mean, they've been very courteous and I should say, kind, because if your network is promoting BS and lies about what is actually happening in the country and helping to inspire and incite an insurrection, why should they even be able to take part in a legitimate press briefing, in legitimate journalism?
Yeah, it's so tough because there are reporters still at Fox, very few getting airtime, and the last real good one just left the building.
Same question, Brian, even though she makes a very good point, even though they have vaccine rules and mask rules and mandates at their own places of business. But the question about why did they even allow Fox to pretend in the briefing room that they're a real news organization?
Well, I think we'd say historically, you got to keep as broad an opening of the press corps as possible, let in as many voices as possible, even let in cranks. And there's been a lot of cranks in the briefing room in the past.
These three talking heads.
Yeah.
Like what a lineup.
Like if Don Lemon and you're Brian Stelter and you're sitting there on live TV in your underwear that no one can see, whatever, and Don Lemon's talking and he's saying these people, these news outlets that are like reporting falsehood and dividing the country, wouldn't you just be like,
yikes.
This is awkward. This is making me cringe. I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. I lied last week.
Yeah. And it's like all while literally talking about January 6th as some like insurrection coup. It's like the most ironic thing in the world. It's the most backwards thing. And
I think Don Lemon's going to fake his own hate crime soon too.
yeah.
I think he's a good odds-on favorite for next caught fake hate crime guy.
Maybe the Jussie hate crime was like a beta test for him.
Yeah, and he goes, cancel, abort it.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't
Pull the
do
plug. We're done.
Yeah, that didn't work.
Woo, thank God.
There was too many online people sniffing it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I would just feel so uncomfortable if I was Brian Stelter sitting in the chair and Don Lemon's going off about how Fox is fake news and they're sold out and the country's divided because of them. It's just like irony alert, boys.
Brian Stelter, the arbiter of truth. Like, what are we doing?
Human potato head. So yeah, it's just all backward stuff. Same with like the ladies, Joy Reid and Joy Behar, for example.
Their names being Joy. Is
Their
that what
name
you're...
being Joy, yeah.
And they're miserable.
And they're the most miserable, delusional, psychotic
Insufferable.
people. Insufferable.
Have some fun. Like, Joy Behar, like, weren't the 80s nice? Like, didn't you have some sort of celebrity and a great life? And now you're just, what, a puppet?
Yeah, sold out over time. And the friends you made over time were just doing bad stuff. It's like if you had a network of friends that rose to power together.
Yeah.
And they were all just like bad people.
Yeah, and nobody had anybody's best interest in heart.
Yeah, you need like a Batman to come save people from a situation like that.
Joy. You
Joy,
better be
baby.
the happiest person on earth if you're going to name your kid Joy. Like,
And it's like the times are so bad that even joy is miserable. It really sets the tone. Well, we can move on to some more uplifting things.
good.
Remember we spoke last week about Leah the Swimmer, who's a guy and now is a girl and breaks all the records?
World record holder Leah Thomas.
Yeah, best woman swimmer ever. We've made no money on gambling on this,
Yeah, that's a bummer.
but no one's going to take the action.
Yeah, it would be such an odds-on favorite.
So we were looking into this more. More stuff has developed. We're not just still harping on it.
Yeah, basically, a couple articles came out. Clay Travis runs Outkick. It's kind of like a right-wing sports media thing, and he got some on-the-record comments from a Penn women's swimmer who just wanted to stay anonymous, basically. And the quote is, "Everyone knows it's the wrong thing to do. Teammates of trans Penn swimmer unhappy with record smashing."
So the girls are sad.
Yeah, the girls are not happy. It's kind of like this weird thing where everyone's priorities are out of whack, and we'll get to it in a second. And it says, but the team is not as excited about Thomas's record-breaking performance as UPenn swimming coach Mike Schnurr appears to be. Indeed, one UPenn swimmer team member told Outkick that the support in public masked dissatisfaction behind the scenes. The female swimmer asked to remain anonymous for fear of leftists destroying her lives. Nice culture, guys.
Yeah.
Still, she told Outkick that most of the team has privately expressed reservations about allowing Thomas to be a member of the women's swim team at the college. So she's the one speaking out. Most of the team's obviously uncomfortable.
The coach is like,
Give me the dub.
I see both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The coach is like, I haven't had an undefeated season since the 90s. Like, we could be the best swimming powerhouse.
I have a clause in my contract. If we win, I get an extra $50,000.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
or something like
Coach
that.
of the year. He'll get coach of the year because they'll be like rewarded for it.
So it says pretty much everyone individually has spoken to our coaches about not liking this. Our coach just really likes winning. He's like most coaches. I think secretly everyone just knows it's the wrong thing to do. The guy's just taking the dubs.
Wow. What an absolute nut. And then Leah Thomas, the swimmer herself, they actually spoke out. And she gave like an interview. And this is what she said.
So I don't know if you're familiar, but the IOC recently released a new set of guidelines for inclusion on transgender and intersex athletes. And I think the guidelines they set forward are very good and do a very good job of promoting inclusivity while keeping competitional integrity going. And then everybody is able to compete in the category they're most comfortable with, unless there's a proven unfair advantage that they have. And this does a very good job of including trans women and not invading anybody's privacy or making anyone feel uncomfortable.
She sounds
And looks
like trans swimmer who's only been transitioned for a year.
Yeah, she looks like someone who can beat the record by about a minute.
By about 38 seconds pure. And so in this interview, it was like a long form interview. The quote, "So easy I was cruising," came up.
Yeah.
So she is bragging about stomping out the competition. So easy I was cruising.
I was cruising. And then also, just a second ago, she said, as long as there's no unfair advantage, it's not a problem. People should be, swimming where they're comfortable.
Yeah.
Unfair advantage?
Wow.
You won by about a minute. Look at this video. This is a video of Leah Thomas swimming against other swimmers. And this is her right here in lane 4 with the arrow. And she's coming up. And she finishes. And you're probably seeing these other people on the top of the screen, the bottom of the screen coming towards the wall. That's not second place. That's them going and then touching the wall and going back for another lap and then coming back. So Leah Thomas basically laps the people.
Yep.
Laps all the girls, wins by 38 seconds.
And Leah is 6'3".
Wow.
So more intel.
What
for
a
that.
beauty.
You saw.
Whoa, 6'3". Imagine
Oh,
the
now
size
that's
of
a woman.
Yeah. Imagine the kids you have with her. Oh,
That's a lot of woman. And then you saw the coach, right? Look at this little smile,
swarmy guy, smarmy.
little beta smile, and he just loves winning.
It's like, I found the cheat.
I'm riding this pay pig to the top.
We're going to go 12-0.
So yeah, but that's basically it. Nobody's happy about it. It's some weird perverse incentive structure where like the college itself is a CRT woke college. The girls themselves are playing by that game, but they're self-interested. They want to swim. They want to win. They don't want to lose just because they look over to their right and they see a 6'3" former man.
Yeah.
Like going like, oh shit. So all those summer workouts I did were for nothing.
Imagine all those workouts where you have to get to the pool at 5 a.m.
Exactly.
The swimmers are always doing the hardest stuff on campus.
In the freezing cold, 5 a.m. And then they have those giant jackets that they need to have afterwards, like the giant swim jackets. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so it's the girls who just want to do their best, be fair. The college, which is woke, the coach who wants to win. And it's this weird structure where you'll be canceled if you speak out, I guess. But we need to come up with a solution for that because otherwise you're going to get beat up by guys.
Do you think Leah Thomas thinks that she's a woman, or do you think Leah Thomas is just like a deranged individual who wants to keep swimming and win?
Tough question. Mm-hmm. I'd like to examine that more. I mean, I don't know the person. I know what they're doing is not fair, and it's inclusion at the expense of fairness, which clearly they have no problem with.
There's no world where Leah Thomas is doing a bit, kind of like how Zuby did that time.
No.
Because Leah Thomas is taking pills or whatever, or hormones.
Exactly.
Okay.
But where I think people are doing bits is when they go to prison. And they're like, I'm just going to stick to it. I don't care. I want to be in the women's prison. And then when I get out, I'm John again. When I'm out.
That's what I would do.
That's what I would do too. If that's if they're allowing that kind of stuff.
You'd have to really sell it.
I'm staying in the women's prison and.
The second you get indicted, you just start growing your hair.
Exactly.
And then by the end of the court, you have
you
this
get to
long
sentencing
hair
and you're like, Your Honor.
I just have been going through a lot.
And you get an Obama judge that Obama appointed or something. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay.
I'm in a ladies' prison.
Enjoy Orange is the New Black, Zach.
What would your lady name be?
I don't know. Good question. There's no feminine version of my name. So
yeah, I like Miranda.
Good one.
Yeah.
Sex in the City. I'll be Carrie then.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's pretty good. And then the Miranda rights, and I'd have a bit about that at jail.
You'd have little quips, little
where
lady
I'd
quips.
knock someone. I knocked the biggest bitch out, and I'd be like, "You just got served your Miranda rights." That's kind of the way I would, know. And then, the jail, you have to go beat someone up right away. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm in the woman's jail. Now I'm the biggest bitch in the house.
You got to beat up Big Bertha.
Yeah.
You got to fight.
And I'm ready. And that's actually the better way to do it. So I get it. We are pro-trans swimmers. UPenn 12-0, undefeated.
National championship time.
Championships. The girls are all going to have their ring and be barely smiling. And then the guy is 6'3" in the middle is going to be like,
Oh, you know what's funny too is I saw there was some like genetic difference in breaststroke. Like women just don't have the muscles here, and it's like
Makes sense.
this guy is probably just cruising like
shoulder delts, like boom.
boom, vascularity.
He's already a swimmer. So this guy is a G. Respect. I love it.
Hey, win at all costs.
Yeah. That's capitalism, baby. You got to win. That's actually interesting. You can make the comparison that capitalism in its purest form is like winning or whatever at any cost. So it's like in the same way capitalism here, it's like, oh, I need to build a car. Have it built in China or Mexico because it's cheap and that's how you win and get cheaper.
Yep.
It's almost that mindset where it's like competition to the purest form all the way down will eventually lead to men just competing against women and then you winning that way.
Where is the satisfaction? Like what satisfies this person? Getting the win?
I think they were probably not a full male swimmer winner.
Yeah, and they wanted podium stuff.
Yeah.
They wanted to be on the podium.
Maybe their mom was a lesbian and never said anything.
Well, now you're guessing.
And then it's like this dynamic of like, you know, a weird sexual upbringing, competition, all these things go into one.
Could very well be.
I just guessed the mom was a lesbian. You have to have some weird X factor.
Yeah. And then a creepy coach who's like, come on, Leah, do it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We were going to call the coach.
We were going to call the coach, but we're sure that it's illegal to probably record people like that, and he would get mad.
And he's not responding to comments
And he's
either.
going to sue me, put me in jail, I have to go to women's prison, and then live the bit out.
Sorry, Miranda.
Because I actually, if I did get in trouble and went to jail, it's like I would live that bit out where I'm like, all right, I'm a girl, let me in girls' jail.
Expose it at the end, too.
Yeah.
And be like, I never did a thing.
Had to. And so while all this is going on, while women's sports are being destroyed and no one's standing up for the women, Leah, the swimmer, is getting backed up by like all these other groups, all these other institutions, corporations, the woke people, school system. We had a bunch of videos that we've been watching for Freak of the Week. And this is a teacher who has been coming out, who came out to her middle school class. And then she has like 5 classes. So she does the thing 5 times. Here it is.
It was National Coming Out Day yesterday. If we were here in person, I would have done this yesterday. My name's Miss Watsy. I'm here. Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. My name's Miss Watsy, and I am. I'm Miss Watsy, and I am. So, I wanted to inform you I am coming out as a lesbian today. Oh my God! I am Miss Watsy, and I am. I am coming out as a Leah Bean to all of you. Thank you so much. What does that mean? A Leah Bean is a lesbian, if you're not on TikTok.
So yeah, that's the teacher's bit. She goes, I'm, and then just dangles her wrists. And the whole class starts cheering and clapping. Imagine the teacher assistant who has to sit through that bit 5 times. That stupid, not even funny bit.
Oh, doing it with every class period?
Yeah. Like, why is
the principal sits in on one and goes, hey, students, I have an announcement.
Yeah, that's the announcement.
The principal writes her up.
The limp wrist. It's like, why is the teacher talking about her sex life to the kids? And everyone says...
Gross. Yeah, very gross.
Isn't that? And it's like, the answer to this, obviously, is get out of the school system, I would say. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about it, and my old stereotype, like 5 years ago, would be like, oh, homeschool kids, they're... socially awkward, they're a little weird, blah, blah,
weird
blah.
Clothes, they go to school together in like the minivan, the bus, basically. But
looking now, it's like, this lady's going to teach the kids?
Yeah.
I can't homeschool a kid, and that kid would be dope if I homeschooled a kid.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like those days of homeschooling is not the answer, blah, 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 are clearly over.
Yeah, I think a little, people who did it during COVID, like pods, that they called it, and they homeschooled in a pod. I think that's a good way to do it, where like everybody handles kind of like one subject or something along those lines. But yeah, the public school system is pumping out freaks.
And it's Freak of the Week. And now I'm thinking, instead of week, W-E-E-K, It's WEAK. It's like freak of the week. You know?
Smart.
Doesn't that make more sense?
Yeah.
So
Let's get the branding right.
Let's get the branding right. Let's get things squared away. Simultaneously, as all this is happening, more confusion for the people. There was another article that came out about why it's good for girls to grow their mustaches out.
Oh my God. It's like giving wrong advice for fun just to see who goes with it.
And it's like young people who are like looking at this stuff and impressionable, young people who read this stuff and see this. And it's like there's like an attitude of wanting to rebel against like your femininity just to do something. Like I did this in high school.
Or like pleasing men. They'll make it all about pleasing men and be like, I don't care. This is how I am.
I'm hairy and I have a mustache.
I'm
like,
disgusting.
I used to rebel that way against my parents in high school. I went to Catholic high school, and there was a rule of like no sideburns past your earlobe. So
At the school? Or?
At the school. Yeah. And my mom would always be like, cut your sideburns, they look so bad. And I would keep it at the line. And the teachers would check, and I would always be at the line, longest possible sideburns, just to go against everybody.
Yeah, just to instigate a little bit.
And then I saw a picture like a few years ago, and I look like a guy who works at like the record store.
You look like stupid Elvis.
Yeah, stupid fat Elvis. It was a horrible look, but I just did it to go against the rules, or like right up until like prove a point and be like, I'm not going to listen. I'm rebelling. So I get the teenage angsty spirit of it.
Yeah.
And if you take that and you lead people with like these horrible women, like look at this woman. She did a whole thing about yelling in front of like a clinic that discourages women from getting abortions. And here's what she's yelling.
I'm Queen City Feminist, and I'm standing in front of Compass Care, which is nestled on Eggert Road in Williamsville. And this is a crisis pregnancy center. This place lies to vulnerable pregnant people and gives them misinformation about abortion and uses stigma and shame in a very discreet kind of way to make people keep pregnancies that they did not intend to keep. And let me tell you, fuck the Supreme Court. We are going to have abortions with or without their consent. And abortion pills are the way of the future. Abortion pills forever.
So this is what you're up to. This is your message. You look like a Pokemon. And I'm supposed to listen to you?
Yeah. Credibility on appearance, not high.
Over. But it's like these are the types of people who think they should make the rules for everybody. You're so out of control of your own life, you don't even know what gender you are.
Yeah. Her utopian politics, her kitchen sink.
Yeah, exactly. So like that, this is who we're going to listen to. Someone who's done nothing, accomplished nothing, is yelling like a minority message that doesn't really even like resonate with people.
Yeah.
Pass. I don't listen to people that look like Pokemon.
Bye. I don't listen to girls with mustaches, Pokemon types, or anybody really.
Yeah, you're clearly out of control. And for that reason, we're out.
Just giving terrible advice, starting a trend. Like, wear your pants backwards.
Yeah.
Cut your shirt in half.
That's what they did on 4chan with these people. They riled them up. There's a couple of them. What was the big one?
Free bleeding.
Free bleeding.
Yeah.
Where they said, have your period and just bleed.
Just bleed. Let it go through your clothes and your pants. And then it was kind of a joke.
It was like a bit. And then the feminists started doing it.
A couple feminists got. Grow out your armpit hair.
It's really good.
So, yeah.
And then no one likes them and they're kind of like repulsed by them. And then it's like self-fulfilling where it's like, see how evil everyone is, blah, blah, blah. And then you get uglier and uglier. And you just like put a metal thing in your face, like dye your hair green, shave the other half of your head, grow a mustache. You have armpit hair and leg hair and wear big boots.
And then these are the people who post on Reddit or something and they just go, I started growing my mustache and now my partner is mad at me all the time. It's like, what do I do? It's like, give up the stupid mustache.
Stop looking like a man.
You idiot. It's a very simple fix.
If the women stop looking like men and the men start acting like men, I think there'll be less women trying to look and act like men because they might be filling a void where there's not enough masculinity, positive masculinity, and all you have is the weak men who are like, oh, you should do whatever you want. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to grow my mustache.
Nothing matters. Standards aren't anything.
So we have this downward trend, this downward spiral, and there's no relief, there's no way out because there's no truth in any of it. And it goes against the natural ways that have worked for thousands of years. But I guess this like Pokemon woman who looks like War Turtle is gonna tell us how the world should be. And it's, even though it's against all your instincts and your intuition, trust me, I have it figured out. Nah, I trust my gut.
Is War Turtle a real Pokemon?
I think it's not Bulbasaur.
Blastoise?
It's the one, the turtle, Squirtle,
and then War
and
Turtle?
then it becomes something else, and then it becomes War Turtle. Oh. And that's what she is.
Nice.
She's a little War Turtle.
I think he becomes
type.
Blastoise eventually, but War Turtle might be the middle.
War Turtle's probably the middle.
Okay.
Blastoise is actually too powerful.
Yep.
It's funny because these human Pokemon types are actually going to, I think, do well in the metaverse.
Yeah.
Because they're already building their avatar.
Yeah.
And they're adding the features. And
They've got a vision.
Yep. And I think that's like, so they'll be good metaverse people. Mm-hmm. And then I think also, it's going to sound scary and interesting. I think the girls do the Facetune filters.
Yeah.
And they do too much sometimes.
Oh, yeah. I know.
And sometimes, and they're trending towards like big bug eye cartoon Disney princess looking things sometimes.
Yeah.
I think that is dipping your toe into metaverse land.
Any sort of Snapchat filter or Instagram or TikTok?
Or it's like a filter where you're like very far off from who you really are.
Mm-hmm.
And you have like this like warped like diamond face, big bug eyes that are
no
like
pores.
No pores. Your nose is airbrushed away. So it's like, I think those filters and that thing is like just like the planted seed for the metaverse acceptance.
It's a small step towards the metaverse, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not hard to do. And then eventually you want to go to the metaverse, give yourself a dummy thick dump truck ass like the like the lady from The Incredibles.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh wait, maybe this isn't so bad. I'm living in a pod already. I'm in a city.
Yep.
Everyone's got COVID and it's racist and scary outside and everything's on fire and there's violence. Maybe I just stay in my pod, give myself a dump truck butt, and go to the metaverse.
Target is behind bulletproof glass now. I get my stuff through a turnstile. So why would I leave the metaverse?
Yeah, so
I'm
maybe
getting glucked in here.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
No, it's the truth. It's absolutely the truth. You gotta stay safe in your pod, and the metaverse will eventually be better. And I think cities is how they're going to do that. They're going to destroy cities. Corporations are going to help. And then you're going to be like, damn, actually, it's safer and better in the metaverse.
Yeah.
And then speaking of corporations, Target, CVS, Dick's Sporting Goods, Best Buy.
Look who came crawling back, you sack of shit.
Crawling back. All these corporations reached out to the Biden team.
I think Congress. I think they were
Congress. And they were like, we need help because we have all this theft.
Yeah, it's crazy.
After giving all that money to BLM, the bailout fund supporting the rioters, it looks like your allies turned on you.
You let BLM burn down America for an entire summer with like no prosecutions, and now theft is up. Retail theft.
Yep.
Crazy.
Stabbed in the back by your allies. Wait till the LGBT gets you too.
Yeah, wait till they start
Target.
shoplifting.
Wait till you see what they've been doing with all those towels they buy from Target. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what
nothing.
they do with towels.
Literally nothing.
You clean up a disgusting mess, maybe. I don't know. Just
okay.
Wait until.
But hey, it's funny. And these people are going to lose. The consumers in the areas where the theft is happening, who have blue Democrat hands-off politicians, are going to get smoked on this. And you know what? Target stays open. This nice suburban one, the one that has a Republican governor who's not very friendly to looting. Mm-hmm. You know, all the ones in Florida, they're going to be all right.
We're good here.
There's no $950 minimum theft requirement thing here. So
you don't just grab a rack of stuff and run out here.
Yeah. So, I mean, hey, you made your bed. Enjoy it, Megacorp.
Yeah. And then it's like promoting this promotion. It's promoting this new thing too.
Promoshi is a Pokemon.
Promoshi is?
No, I'm kidding.
Wow. I only know a few Pokemon. You could have told me Promoshi. Promoshi could have been like a Digimon.
Yeah.
And I never got into.
Yes.
But now it's like violence is accepted. Violence is just like a normal thing.
Yeah, it's just something that happens. People get victimized.
Exactly. And people get victimized. It's just life in the city, life in the big city.
That's life.
That's life. But it's like very specific. It's very specific and very selective when it comes to prosecution.
Of course.
The guy we talked about last week who burned the Christmas tree at Fox, he got let out on no bail. Mm-hmm. Remember this video of this kid in the blue shirt getting kicked in the head? Horrible, like attempted murder.
Yeah.
That guy got let off on probation.
Ah, that's
Isn't that interesting?
sweet. He can go help this community now.
Yeah, he was just a bad, he got caught in something. He was just made a bad mistake.
One mistake, and he'll be back contributing to society in no time.
One mistake. Like, when would you ever kick someone in the face like that?
Full-fledged kick someone in the face, like tee it off.
It would have to be like a murderer.
Someone who's like
citizen arrest
in my house.
Yeah.
And my daughter I caught her in my daughter's room.
Yeah.
And then I'm kicking his face.
So that guy gets off probation. But if we went to New York and Antifa was there, or someone, got in a fight with us, and we punched someone at a bar, we go to jail 100%.
They swing first, you swing back and finish.
Self-defense.
Jail.
You go to jail.
Or at least a legal battle.
100% legal battle, drain your funds, everything.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're up against. And it plays in every level.
So why would you live there? Why would you live somewhere like that?
Well, maybe you get tricked into it, which brings us to our next point. On real estate sites, there's a fight now to not list crime data and crime statistics, because the people on the left are saying that it contributes to racist stereotypes and racism and systematic whatever. And it's like, dude, I want to buy a house and know how safe it is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not relevant?
Isn't that kind of a slip up when they say it's racist, that showing crime is racist? Because then it's like, well, who's committing the crime? What do you...
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's not about race. We just want to know how much crime there is. And they're like, no, you're going to find out it's all the black people and Hispanic people. And we're, this is awkward. I didn't bring that up.
Okay.
I was looking for a place to live.
Jeez, my real estate agent's a neo-Nazi. Or like something like that. It's like, what are we doing here?
I just want to know, if you find a house you like, I think it's like, I wouldn't even look in dangerous neighborhoods. Like, that's like the first thing that you have. Like, is this a safe place? Yes.
You look at crime stat, like tracker, and you immediately go, oh shit, we're dark red.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I'm out.
And I guess you're not allowed to do that anymore.
Yeah, you're not allowed to research on behalf of your family and your living situation. You're just get in the pod, eat the bugs, get in the metaverse,
Get
boys.
in the metaverse. It's better there.
Don't worry about crime.
And if you get robbed, make sure you give them everything. And you can't defend yourself. And the gun stores are closed. You can't go to church. But if people want to burn the city and loot, that's life.
So you know what's a problem too that I just kind of noticed? Right before we walked in here to film this, I was watching a video about this family of like 4 or 5 people who got robbed outside the Four Seasons in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. They basically got robbed at gunpoint. Everyone else is just like walking past, like whatever. It wasn't me who got robbed. But I think the criminals are getting smarter and targeting richer areas and richer things. Like you hear, obviously it's all Rodeo Drive and whatever. It's like the Four Seasons. Mm-hmm. Like, like things that the crime, theft, armed robbery community shouldn't really know. Like they shouldn't know that the Four Seasons is like the top and the like, you know what I mean?
There's the hood crimes. These aren't hood crimes.
Yeah, so they're getting smarter. So
they're targeting high wealth individuals in broad daylight.
Exactly.
With their crews.
So I'm grabbing my concealed carry soon.
Yep.
I don't have that yet. But
Florida is about to become a open carry state. Constitutional carry state. Yeah. Excuse me.
DeSantis said he'd sign a constitutional carry bill that came across his desk. So,
which is great because I applied for my concealed carry and it takes a bunch of time and I'm waiting to hear back and I have to do less paperwork. But
Fleck has had an error in his paperwork and basically got denied. He won't tell you the truth.
Well, I had an error in my paperwork and I have to fix it within a certain amount of time. But I think within that time, I think it's like if I have 60 days left, I think DeSantis will have something come across his desk.
He'll swoop you. Yeah.
So I'm just going to wait it out. And then I'm going to constitutional carry everywhere I go.
Good plan.
Glock. I need a new Glock. I need a Glock.
Yes.
Because I have all these rifles and Dracos and AKs.
Meme guns, if you will.
I have meme guns. And it's like now I need a concealed carry. And I'm looking at the thing. I'm looking at like Mac 10s, Mac 11s, Uzis. And it's like, just get a pistol.
I'm like, and then he shows me a Glock that's like all white with some stupid thing. And I'm like,
that's the one we're getting. We put a bid in on that.
Good.
So we're going to get a nice Glock, and the world's going to continue to get crazy, and they're going to continue to let the bad people out and call you nuts for noticing.
And no one's coming to protect you unless you're actively moving and engaging in politics, I think. Mm-hmm. Like Florida, everyone who moved here is taken care of.
Yeah.
They're not getting victimized. They're not wearing a mask. They're not locked down again.
Yeah, exactly. All you can do is realize who's with you, who's against you, support the people that are with you, and then withdraw from the control of the people who are against you. So if corporations and
stop
big
giving
tech,
them money.
Exactly. It's hard to do. Amazon delivers things in the same day.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of using that.
Yeah.
But right now, there's not another option. So it's like we got to be deliberate with our money, pick the companies that are supporting free speech, that are supporting American interests, support people that do that, and then withdraw as much as you can from the institutions and the powers that be that have like a grip around you. And just get out of there as little as you can here and there, and then there'll be an opportunity where there'll be another Amazon-style drop ship company of maybe patriotic companies, and then bam, okay, instead of going to Amazon, all my stuff is done through there. And then, there's Getter, there's Parler, cool, we're there. Yeah. Just keep jumping around, but you have to kind of hold the line and then wait it out. It's a slow game. It's a slow grind.
Absolutely.
There's no answer overnight. These corporations are gigantic, more powerful than governments. So it's going to have to be like a deliberate effort over time. Small steps.
And speaking of which, you're building the Rumble. You're building your Rumble.
Yeah, Rumble. If you guys are Rumble subscribers, make sure you're subscribed on Rumble. All the content goes there as well, including this podcast. So if you want to watch the video version of this and you don't want to support YouTube, Rumble's a great place to do it.
There you go. Act it out right now.
Yep. So. Act it out right now. Another thing that came up in the news, speaking of letting all the bad people out.
Okay.
And like creating a world of violence and evil and gaslighting everyone who calls it out. Australia has I read a Daily Mail article, Garbage Human. He posted it. He's a great account who gets deleted like every
every week, man.
Every month. He's actually one of the people. He actually originated This Week in Culture. He has a version of it on his channel. It's been going longer. And he was inspired by I Hypocrites compilation. So good guy, good friend of the show. He posted last week a Daily Mail article, 2 Daily Mail articles. One, the first one says, woman who shouted racist abuse at bouncer, calling him the N-word and spitting at him is jailed for 14 weeks. Oh, while the next article from Daily Mail, pedophile labor counselor who worked in children's home walks free despite being caught with over 1 million child porn images, including 12-year-old girls being raped.
No.
So you can't say the N-word. You can't be racist, even if you're like a drunk girl at a bar and just saying stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Being like the biggest idiot of all time. That's worse than being a child porn haver, horrible creep person who works in a children's home.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what we're up against.
Good priorities, boys and girls.
So I don't know I don't know how you plan. It's like, who can you trust if the highest levels are doing stuff like that? I don't know. Not them, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And all we can say is disconnect from the system that controls you.
Smart.
Let's move on to a more lighthearted thing.
Yes.
Question.
Okay.
I have a question for you, RB, and you can't turn it on me and say, what do you think?
Okay.
It's a yes or no question.
All right.
Ready?
I'm ready.
It's a tough one.
Okay.
Do you think George Floyd is in hell?
It's like I got to look at his notepad before we come in here. Like,
you don't have to answer it. I'm just kidding. It's a big question.
I'm not going to answer.
It's a big question.
Yeah.
But talk about no upside to that question. Last week we asked you to say the N-word. This week, do you think George Floyd's in hell? I guess it depends. That's not our call.
Yeah.
That's not our call.
No comment.
No comment. That's not our call. Okay. Actually, moving on to real lighthearted stuff.
Okay.
This is a real joke that'll make everyone happy and laugh.
All right.
Hillary Clinton, who was crying on TV last week, is thinking about running for president again in 2024.
Really?
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah. So I guess she's talking around.
I think that's probably just a teasing it so she gets more Clinton Foundation donations.
Yeah.
Something like that, maybe.
But I think the Clinton Foundation's been taking more donations lately.
Ooh.
Up big. So it's kind of like the
Saudis getting in.
Yeah, they're getting the engine going again. And then she was on TV, and here's my theory. She was on TV last week crying.
Okay.
I think she was like, guys, let me go on TV. Let's test the waters. Let's see what people think. Let's see what the sentiment is around Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on TV. She gave a great performance. She started crying. And it probably ranked she probably tested better than she's ever tested on TV. Likeability, because she hasn't been around. Mm-hmm. Crying, stolen election, Trump won, whatever. Yeah. So it's like
Joe Biden's making a fool of himself. So it's like, hey, maybe Hillary's not the worst.
Yeah. It's probably the best. She probably tested the best she's ever tested.
Yeah.
After that.
Maybe.
And she's probably like, hey, let me just go on. If people like me, maybe we think about it. So maybe she's Kamala's VP after Muppet Joe goes takes a break.
She's Kamala's VP?
Mm-hmm. Because Joe Biden steps down.
I
He's a
can't
Muppet.
imagine that ticket getting.
And then boom, and then that wall while doing it, it's an abortion race, or it's an abortion themed presidency, and women of color.
Yeah.
There's like a whole thing there. It would be crazy.
Yeah.
But I just want to get on the record and say some crazy stuff.
I'm too disconnected from that. I'm too disconnected from Hillary to even objectively say like maybe people liked her more at that moment, because I'm just like who finds this appealing? Yeah,
Who could?
I actually debate whether or not who's better, Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton, because Joe Biden's an incompetent Muppet and America's just going to get its lunch stolen, and China's going to eat our lunch, all that. People will take advantage of us, incompetence. But then Hillary will be like a bad actor, like trading power for favors, and what's she going to sell out or what's she going to call in? So I don't know who I'd prefer.
I see her and Biden as similar in that way, but I think she'd be way worse. Like she knows she'd really deliberately do everything she could to enrich herself and her people and stay in power. And it would be bad. That would be a bad one. She wants the mail-in ballot treatment, though. She thinks she can take Trump with the mail-in ballots.
Now that she's seen what happens.
Yeah, Joe Biden gets 83 million. It's like,
all right, we can stretch COVID to 2024. I'm back.
I'm crying on TV. People like me. It's different this time. And then they'll just drag her around like a sack of potatoes, shoving her into minivans. Wow. Well, we'll see. I would love it. That'd be the best action of all time.
Good prediction.
And it'd be like, the simulation has 11 people. So it's like, who's going to run for president against Trump? It's like Hillary Clinton.
Jeb Bush and Hillary again.
Yeah, exactly.
Run it.
Oh, man. So, yeah. And then Joe Biden is, I guess, he went to the tornado devastated towns.
Yeah, Kentucky got torn up by that tornado.
So Joe Biden's going there. Honestly, finally. I feel like he hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah, he's been ducking
he's been hiding out. And I think it's because people are going to say, let's go Brandon in the stadium.
Yep, exactly. And then the Army-Navy game, which Commander-in-Chief usually goes to. I think Trump went probably every time. Does the coin flip, it's a big thing. And so a lot of people are speculating that, yes, he's avoiding the let's go Brandon chance or FJB.
And
you know what it means,
Yeah. It's not a bad move. The Army Navy game 100% would do the let's go Brandon.
Yeah.
That would be bad for him. And
that's what I'm saying. It's like Army Navy, they love Trump.
Yeah.
They loved Trump when he was there. SEC, if it's LSU versus Alabama, Trump's going to get a standing ovation. The South, everybody loves it. Trump knows where he was respected and loved. Where can Joe Biden go? Where would he be like
Hamilton.
LeBron?
Hamilton.
Yeah, he goes to Hamilton. He goes to like a LeBron Lakers game where LeBron does like a with him to look cool, and it's like they pay LeBron under the table for that. Mm-hmm. He could go to a Middlebury versus Vermont lacrosse game.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He could go to a farmer's market.
That's a good one. You go out for ice cream.
Who's his crowd? Yeah,
it has to be like Delaware ice cream place. Mm-hmm. What was the one you said? The lacrosse game?
Yeah, Middlebury versus Vermont.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, like some granola type.
Yeah, that and Hamilton, and that's it.
Yeah.
But maybe, hey, people in Kentucky, we love you. We hope everyone gets better.
Yeah, I feel very bad for Kentucky. And then, of course, it's like Tornado Alley, USA. It's literally called Tornado Alley. Kentucky, less so. It's more west of that, but it all hits that patch of America, the plains. And I saw some people going, oh, global warming is going to make tornadoes fiercer and crazier and worse. Yeah. It's like no opportunity is lost.
Global warming, that's the problem. And then it's like, if it doesn't become, how do we help these people? What do we need to do? It becomes like, if the Republicans weren't against global warming, we'd have this under control.
Yeah.
So it's all like everything's a lie. The Democrats don't actually care about you. They just want to use you for.
No, they just want your money and your tax base, and they want to suck. They want to soul suck
and convince you to live in like a world of fear where you can't trust people and you can't trust your neighbors and your own family. And it's like, if you're not with us, you're against us, and if you're against us, you're an irredeemable person. Have fun living like that.
I don't live like that.
I don't live like that at all. That's why I don't leave the house, though.
Mm-hmm. Anything else on COVID you want to talk about? Or
no, I guess we just wrap it up with final segment. It's not going to be an apology.
It's a double down.
It's actually a double down. Last week, I don't think I've ever gotten
poked a hornet's nest like that?
I never poked a hornet's nest like this. Last week I talked about how pit bulls are not good dogs and they're violent and they're made to be violent, and a majority of people who have them, or close to a majority, a good amount of people who have pit bulls don't know how to handle them and shouldn't be handling them. And we got so many stories from people who had bad pit bull experiences. So many that were like, yeah, I had this sweetheart pit bull that was great for so long, and then something happened one day, and then they just latched onto my kid's leg, and I had like
70 stitches.
Yeah, stuff like that. And then everyone's saying, oh, you're using all the... I said no anecdotal stories. And everyone's like, oh, all these people that had bad experiences are anecdotal stories. No, it's not. You having one pit bull out of like a million and saying this pit bull was great, it never attacked anyone, pit bulls are good, that's anecdotal.
Yeah.
If you're a person who's had 1,000 experiences with dogs and you got attacked twice and both times it was a pit bull, that's not anecdotal, because that's like a wide range of data.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So everyone's getting mad at me. I don't care. Who cares? Who cares what I think about pit bulls? I have a great, lovely dog. I'm happy with that. If you have your kid Thrasher and you think that's good and you have him under control, great. No one, stop getting mad. Everyone's like, oh, you're promoting hate. You're promoting stereotypes about a dog. It's not true. It's like, do you think people are on the fence about getting a pit bull, and then that episode of the podcast really steered him away? If that's you and you're going to get a dog and you were going to get a pit bull and now you're not going to because you heard this segment of the episode last week, shoot me a DM. You're absolutely right. Don't get the pit bull. I'll give you $100 towards whatever dog you're going to get.
Wow.
Money where my mouth is, double down.
I think the one thing I'll take away, I appreciate people who adopt dogs. I appreciate people who like,
of course,
whatever.
Majority of the whole segment was a bit.
Yeah, exactly. You're joking. You're joking.
I'm like half joking.
But the people who I want to hear from are postal workers, people who work at a vet, the people who have to trim the dog's nails or groom it. I don't want to hear about your dog. I don't want to hear about the one time you got bit. I want to hear broad experience of other people's dogs. Give me that intel.
I got a mailman. He's like, a mailman, 20 years. He's like, you're absolutely right, dude. Pit bulls give me so much trouble. And then everyone gives me the answer, and this is the most annoying thing ever. And they think they're smart. And they go, bro, please, it's not the dog. It's the people who raise it. So you think I don't know that?
Yeah, and
that's the whole point.
It's obviously a combination of the two things.
Like, look where we're at now. There's too many pit bulls because the people who raised it didn't do it right, and now there's like a breed that's kind of a problematic breed. Problematic. I did that on purpose because people say, "Oh, you're like a leftist. You just spread things that aren't true based on what you think." Guys, it's a problematic breed. The people who take care of it didn't take care of it. They were overbred in backyard things. People are like, oh, your own dog is really aggressive and whatever too. You know why that's not true? Because this is going to sound bad, and this isn't me saying this. I was told this by someone who knows how high-end dog breeders work. If they have a thing in their lineage where a dog attacks a person, they just kill that dog. And they've done that for years. So at this point, the dogs they're giving out are very human-friendly in their genes.
It's already out of the DNA.
It's already out of the DNA.
It's out of the bloodstream.
It's out of the bloodstream. And they know where all the dogs comes from. That's not what's happening in a lot of these places. There's a lot of, what's it called, backyard breeders.
Yeah.
And they just do whatever. And that's the problem. There's not Rottweilers in every shelter all over the country.
Purebred, nicely painted, perfect markings.
Yeah, there's not a lot of those. It's mostly pit mixes and dogs that are messed up. So that's it. I don't know what the problem is. It's the people. It's not the dog. It's the person. Okay, what happens when the person makes a bunch of bad dogs and now those dogs are everywhere? It's like the next step. You're talking about the first step. Oh, we should have all dogs be trained by good people. Yeah, that would be great. Is that what happened for the last 30 years? No. Look where we're at now. There's a problem breed. It's a problem breed. Get mad, get in the comments, get upset. People are like, I'm unfollowing you. I was a fan of you for 5 years. Now I'm unfollowing you. You fucking idiot. Get out. Get out, unfollow me then. I don't give a shit. After all this, after all the work we've done, after all the progress we've made, everything we're going to do, you're going to get mad that I think your dog sucks. Your dog does suck. And that's the problem. This is a you problem. You're projecting. You're saying, oh, he's saying I'm a bad trainer because pit bulls are bad. I have a pit bull and I'm a good trainer and my dog's good. He's saying I'm bad. No, stupid. It's your dog. The breed you have sucks. Not yours, the breed you have. If you don't agree, I don't care.
Yep.
It's over.
Yep.
Unfollow me. It's over. I'm not fighting about the dogs anymore. You're not going to convince me that your pit bull's a sweet dog. It probably is. But I'm not going to say all pit bulls are sweet. Like you're saying I'm overgeneralizing. You're the guys who are overgeneralizing because the overgeneralization is all pit bulls are good because I had one good pit bull. I'm saying pit bulls are sketchy because there's a lot of sketchy pit bulls. That's it. It's over. Nail in the coffin. You're done. You're fried.
Good double down,
I
buddy.
cooked you.
Yeah.
It's over.
Well, I mean, it's an opinion.
It's an opinion. Who cares what I think? I'm not going to get a pit bull. Doesn't matter. It's over. Move on. Stop caring. Why don't you go put this effort into getting mad in the comments, into training your dog not to thrash a kid every time he sees it? Now we're going to get it going again. I'm just kidding.
Now you're making wild
Pit bulls
accusations.
don't do that. Pit bulls don't do that, but they do have a very good latch, and they do have the ability to snap. And unless yours is trained perfectly, it maybe has that potential. But don't worry. All pit bulls are trained perfectly because the people who train them are great. It's like their own argument actually proves them wrong. It's not the dog, it's the people. Yeah. And that's why we have so many shitty dogs.
I have no faith in the people.
I have no faith in the people. Look what's going on. All right. That's it for us. Thank you guys for watching. Another Fleckus Talks in the Books. Please like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. We didn't even do an ad read this episode.
I know, I was going to say.
Well, shopfleckus.com for the best merch in the game. It's a little late for the Christmas run. Christmas is in a week, so we're probably not going to get it to you in time. But if you want to get yourself a little gift, got Become Unpinnable. We have the Clintons, Trader Joe's, the based mug, which we have in front of us today, drinking our Diet Cokes out of it. If you want to get one of those for yourself.
You put just the Diet Coke in the can?
Yeah. That's what you said to do. Put the Diet Coke in the base mug. Get some of those for yourself. Use code SANTA. The shirts are $17.99. Support the show, and you'll get it like the week in between Christmas and New Year's. So if you have someone coming to town late, or you want to get yourself a little post-Christmas gift, treat yourself. It's cheap. Loot my merch store. Thank you guys for watching. Leave 5-star reviews if you're watching on Apple. And if you're listening on Spotify and YouTube or Rumble, go over to Apple. The link's in the description. And leave us a 5-star review.
Juice the 5 stars.
Juice the 5 stars. That's required homework for the day. Thank you guys for watching. Another great episode, episode 12. We'll see you at the next one.